One of the social workers. I'm Catherine Zoxer, social worker with a microphone, and you're listening to WCDB FM, University at Albany, with Alyssa Lotmore. She's an MSW former student, and she's my co-host. So all three of us are here. And again, Brendan, thanks so much for doing the board.
Not a problem.
Yeah, how about we'll take you out for, how old are you?
No comment.
Okay. I was going to say, I'll take you out for
wherever
a
you want
drink.
to take me, you can take me. You don't have to finish this.
I'll take you out for dinner. We can all go out for dinner. I was going to say a drink, but then I'm holding back. Yeah.
I mean, we could go to Washington Taverns for both.
Yeah,
they
that's
serve
true.
food there. You don't have to get a drink there, but
they've been here a long time. When I got my MSW in 1983, they were here. So they've been here quite a while. We have two guests on the show today, so it's really important that you're here. We may even have more, but at 9:15, we're going to be talking about the students from the School of Social Welfare who go to New Orleans every year. And I'm not exactly sure what they do. It's part of the social work program. They go there. I mean, Alyssa, what do they do? Evaluate the social work?
It's more about service learning. So they're going down, like we didn't do the Louisiana when I was a student in the school. We actually they did the study trip to Africa for student learning. So it's really, they went to Rwanda, and that Rwanda was where the location of the mass genocide was. So they go down, they help rebuild, they evaluate what social work needs are there, and they usually do more of the hands-on, what needs to be rebuilt, how can we help structurally make a difference. So I think that's what they're doing more in Louisiana, but Amanda will tell us a little bit more about the overall picture of what they're doing and how they're really making a difference.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an important program. I think they were on the show maybe a couple years ago, not last year. So I'd be curious as to how much progress has been made. And because there are lots of different areas of progress, human services, health, environmental, all of those kinds of things. I never went to New Orleans after the hurricane. I've been there before, but not after. I don't know. Have you guys ever
I've never been there.
Yeah. No?
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I went and it was party time, actually.
I've always wanted to go to Mardi Gras. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. Well, you should go. I didn't go to Mardi Gras. I just went, even though it wasn't Mardi Gras, it was just like really fun and the food is great, or,
I wonder what, I've heard alligator tastes like chicken.
Yes, I've had alligator.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is. I've had snake, too, and it tastes like chicken. All that stuff actually does taste like chicken. If they don't tell you, you wouldn't know the difference. Rabbit tastes like chicken. I guess maybe it's our point of reference. I mean,
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to try different kinds of food.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't? She's looking at us like...
I'm very bland when it comes to my food.
Like meat
I
and
just
potatoes?
Sort of like the basics. So I'm not much to experiment on different animals.
So no snake, no alligator, no what?
I couldn't get past mentally to eat it. I would just think of a little bunny or something hopping in my backyard, and I'm like, no, that's it for me.
Oh, you have to try it. Some of this stuff is really good, and my boyfriend and I went with my son and his girlfriend like a couple of years ago to Argentina. So, do you know what their specialty is?
No, what is?
Do you know what it is?
It's not penguin, right?
No. You get a second. You get 3 guesses, and I'll tell you, it tastes so good. Or should I just tell you what it is?
Can we have a hint? Is it a aquatic animal or is it a land animal?
It is a land animal, a large land animal.
In Argentina?
Mm-hmm. Argentina. Think about Argentina. Think about what they eat. Actually, meat is a big...
I'm trying to think.
You guys are never going to get it.
I'm trying to think of the animals that they would usually have over there.
I'm
I
trying
have
to
no
think
idea.
of large animals.
Okay.
You said it's not.
It's beef.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a particular area of the beef.
Oh, is it the fallacial area of a bull?
It's the bull's balls.
Yep, I knew it.
And they are delicious.
My dog has those for treats.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What do you mean they sell?
Well, not the. Oh, I actually do know about the balls.
Yeah.
Because of course I would know this because of the show Wild Boys. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Wild Boys is like it's the guys from Jackass, and they go all over the world it's kind of like a nature wildlife show, except with Steve-O and like the doofuses of the Jackass crew. And they did a segment where they ate those in Argentina, so I do remember that.
Okay, so and that's their specialty.
Yeah.
I mean, at fine restaurant, exactly, that's what they serve. And they're
Do
very
they have at least a nice name for it, like to make it sound more appetizing?
Actually, I think that's what it is in Spanish too, and it's a delicacy. I mean, it's like the appetizer. It's a delicacy, and they're delicious. You know, of course, I'm sitting there with my.
Oh, they're called Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yes, right. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh,
And they are especially, and they are fabulous. I don't have, so try something. We'll start with something maybe.
start with something much simpler.
Yeah,
and
right.
Just
Rocky Mountain oysters. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. All right, so on to our next guest is going to be in the second half hour of this show. We're going to be talking about the Affordable Health Care Act and specifically the Navigators Program, which the School of Social Welfare is sponsoring. And Linda Mertz, who's head of that program. And Linda also is, and you know her well, right, Alyssa?
yeah, she coordinates the internships and aging program. So since with the baby boomer population getting older, there's a need for a lot more social workers in the field. So the University of Albany has a program that it specifically deals with students who want to work with the aging population, and their internships are set up in those types of fields. So it's a really great program that Linda does at the university.
Okay, so now she's responsible for the Navigators Program, or Navigator Program, which is a program that is part of the Affordable Health Care Act. And I'm just going to give a definition. Here at the School of Social Welfare, we have a group of MSW students who are actually the navigators, who are going to go out into communities and with their computers, with their iPads, and give information to groups who are eligible. Everybody has to be insured, and provide them with the information to how to access the information, how they can sign up for it, just any kind of information that's related to the Affordable Health Care Act, and get people signed up.
Well, that's good, because I myself don't even really understand
And
the
neither-
program or how to. All you hear on the news is the issues about it, but it doesn't really show you what you need to actually enroll, what kind of services are going to be offered. It's sort of, you have to research on your own, and it can be a little confusing.
It's very confusing, and it's confusing, as you say, for people who are in the field of social work. I just went to a big program on last Friday, the New York State Department of Health, the School of Social Welfare, and the Rockefeller College. There was a 4-hour program at the Department of Health just related to the Affordable Health Care Act. And I'm still not quite clear, except one thing that the governor's, Donna Frescatore, who's the governor's one of his right-hand gals, said that in New York State, apparently, our computer system, contrary to the federal government, is working very well. And so it's, we are doing what we're supposed to be doing in regard to the act, and our computer system and accessibility to it, and it works, et cetera, is okay. I mean, we're not the only state. I think Washington State also, it's doing, and maybe California. So, yeah.
It's just, I was talking to, random people that I know, and healthcare has turned into something that's such a worrisome, anxiety-producing area of their life now. And it's like, you look at other countries where they have their own issues with healthcare, but at least everyone has it, and it's something that is not causing so much stress in terms of, am I going to have coverage? Can I even afford coverage anymore? And I really hope that this turns out goes more smoothly in the future, because it's something that is a stress-producing area of people's lives. So I hope that it turns out to be the vision that the president hoped for. I hope it really is able to help people save money and get the services that they need, and have people be able to afford health care and be able to utilize it for more preventative care, and to make sure that people are living that healthy lifestyle and be able to have access to things they need.
I think that will happen. I think obviously it's going to take time, and I think one of the things that we don't want to do is confuse the act itself with the execution of it. So in other words, we have a good program, and yes, things will change and evolve in the program, but don't get that confused with the execution, which didn't go well. And I think especially the naysayers want to do that, so they associate the execution of the program with the program itself, and those are really two different things. I'm not making excuses, obviously, at least in my own mind, for waiting and doing this in the proper way. Our guest is calling in early, and
We'll take
or
a
calling it
break.
we can take a break when Brendan is he's got to get used to our show.
Okay.
She's going to talk, and we'll take a short break. We'll listen to a couple.
I got it on right now.
Oh, all right. I think Alyssa's your headphones
My
are not
headphones, yeah. So can we take a
short break.
Yep, and we'll be right back.
And leave her on the air.
Okay, we're gonna take a short break then. Call back in like a minute.
Or okay, we're going to have her call.
Call back. I'll put
Okay.
it on the.
Okay. Well,
You want a commercial? You said, right?
yeah, we'll go to commercial. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away because Amanda Bane is here. Yeah. Hi. Now we're
We were
connected.
having some technical
No
difficulties.
difficulty.
We were very worried.
Yeah, we got you though. It takes a village, and we've got a village here, and we're working on it. So
I'm the idiot.
no,
No.
not at all. Brendan has graciously agreed to do the show for us today, and we are so grateful. Hey, you did a
Thank
social
you,
work
Brendan.
thing.
Thank
yeah.
you. Hey, I'm just trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, you are. You have made the world a better place for us. Anyway, okay, so we'll start. Amanda Bane, New Orleans Service Learning Project. I've already announced this, but we'll do it again. Good to have you on the show. You are a student who is, on your way to 8 years, or you've been 8 years? You haven't been there for 8 years, but the Hurricane Katrina, boy, it's been 8 years since the hurricane, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Since 2005.
Right. Continues to struggle with recovery efforts. This will be the 8th year that UAlbany MSW students travel to New Orleans to volunteer with a variety of organizations while learning about the effects on policy and infrastructure. So I guess that's your mission, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Is this your first year going there?
It's my second year. As part of the group, we have a first-year student go for the one trip, and then that following year, that student's expected to facilitate the trip for a new group of students.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that. That's really a great experience, a great way to help train a person who's going to be the facilitator.
Right, exactly. So you're not going in not knowing about the fundraising efforts and the organizations that we've been with before, and just the somewhat a culture of New Orleans, and to guide the group. So it's not just everyone's going in blindly.
So tell us your experience, I mean, specifically because there are lots of different areas, I imagine. I mean, it's been 8 years, and it doesn't seem to me, at least what I see on the news, I haven't seen it firsthand like you have. Mm-hmm. But what is happening there in terms of social services, in terms of infrastructure, all of the things that you and the students go to look at and examine?
Well, they're still rebuilding a lot, actually. Many communities are still suffering directly from the hurricane. The population before Katrina was around 484,000, and as of 2012, it's down to 360,000. And some people chose not to come back after the hurricane, but some people are still displaced against their wishes. And we worked with one organization called the St. Bernard Project last year, where we helped to rebuild one of the houses in the 9th Ward, and it was just very eye-opening to me to see that we have a group of students coming in to volunteer to build these people's houses, and they've been out of them for 8 years, and how the communities can still be so devastated, and just, they'll have still foundations and steps that lead to nowhere where there were houses, and now it's just grown over with weeds.
Amanda, why do you think that is? Why haven't we done anything in terms of, I know, I take that back. We've done something, but why is the progress so slow What's your observation? What do you know, in terms of, like you say, you have the students rebuilding houses, and I assume you're doing that with other organizations, right?
Right. It's through the St. Bernard Project, and they have a project manager on site, and then other skilled laborers that volunteer their time. But then the rest are just, I'm unskilled when it comes to carpentry and construction, yet I'm here rebuilding this home or, doing the painting and all that. And why? I just, there's many different theories as to why, and the one that seems most prevalent is that after Hurricane Katrina, mostly affected people of color and people in poverty. And one of the predominant theories is, the New Orleans government doesn't really want them to come back. They're trying to put a new face on New Orleans, and the residents that live there aren't part of it.
It's a sad thing that could be a reality, as they try to change the face of New Orleans. And how do you feel that, I don't know how much you interacted with the people, the actual people who live there. What are their takes on, is there anger among the residents? Is there frustration, sadness? How are they handling the fact that they still aren't back to their, quote unquote, normal lifestyle after all this time?
Well, we didn't really speak with anyone that was permanently displaced still. We did work with other organizations, with the aging and with the homeless citizens of New Orleans, and they just feel defeated. There were many tent camps set up after Hurricane Katrina, and the government passed some laws that banned the tent camps and took the FEMA trailers. They took all the FEMA trailers back as of 2011. They were all gone. And the tent camps, they were able to break those apart, so the homeless population is significantly high. And people, just a sense of powerlessness and, the way it is, that they don't feel like they have many options for change.
How are the social service agencies set up there? I mean, you're going down there once a year. Obviously, you observe, and then you go down, and then you help, but then you come back. So
Right.
on an ongoing basis, what are the social service agencies doing?
There's really not much, and that was one of the other most interesting things to me is looking at Louisiana state policies compared to New York state policies. And one of the organizations that we worked with, TASTE, they very kindly talked to us for about an hour about how there's just a lack of services, and we were able to exchange stories with the social workers there about the services in New York, and especially after Sandy and Irene and Lee here, and how, there's also comparisons too, because they're still recovering here as well, and still Harry, the people of poverty, but it's like the people who were middle class, I see it more. Well, I'm getting off topic, I guess, with the social services, but they're lacking. That's, I guess, the point. They're seriously lacking in Louisiana, especially compared to New York.
Now, is there a sense of, with so many people displaced, and some people have started to rebuild and have gotten their lives somewhat back together, is there a sense of community down there? Do people help each other, or is it more of, the haves and the have-nots in a way? Or is there have they come together to sort of help each other, or what is your take on that?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely community-based, everything. I mean, even when you're out to eat at a restaurant, the people at the table next to you will just start talking to you like you were old friends, and 2 tables down, and people will just be conversing with each other. And actually, after Katrina, that's how a lot of the community members, because as you probably know, the response to Katrina was very delayed, and people didn't have food or medical or water or other necessities that they needed for life, and they relied on other community members to bring them supplies. One of he's not a professor, he's like a research director. It's called the Southern Institute for Education and Research, Dr. Lance Hill. We meet with him and have a discussion of him, and last year he told us his personal account of Katrina and how he just would be driving back and forth from the Superdome to his house, trying to get food, supplies, blankets, whatever he could find in his house to bring to the Superdome, and how the police would try to stop him and chase him down and not really let him in there. And so it seemed like everything positive that happened immediately after Katrina was thanks to community members.
Now, when you guys returned, are you going to share this experience with others? Because I mean, I'm looking at the TV, and there's constantly something. The tornadoes that just hit in Illinois. Sandy. There's fires always in the western part of the United States. We never hear any follow up. We just see the devastation, and then it's sort of what happened to these locations. Did they rebuild? How is it? What is it like? Are you, when you come back from your trip, are the students going to be able to show others really what's going on now and give us a feel of this is how it is now?
Yeah, definitely. We'll look at each group member. There's 8 of us total. We'll look at a different policy and examine that, and look at specifically before and after Katrina and how it's changed. For example, last year, my partner and I did the housing policies and looked at the number of subsidized housing before and after Katrina and the issues related to that, and that's open to the SUNY campus. The dean was present there, and our facilitator, Loretta Piles. And anyone's open to come and join us for that and learn about how present day, how New Orleans is.
That's great. Well, we're going to have to say goodbye, but Amanda Bane, you are a second-year MSW student, and we wish you well on the trip.
Okay.
And we do want to hear what happens when you come back, right, Alyssa?
Please keep us informed on dates and times of any types of presentations, because we'd love to learn and see pictures and really have a firsthand encounter, or talk to someone who had that firsthand encounter with the people of Louisiana and how the progress is going.
Great. Thank you so much. And I would like to just say one quick thing. We're having a fundraiser tonight at Comedy Works on Northern Boulevard. And we're also having another event on December 5th at Lark Tavern. And we continue to sell origami owl necklaces as part of our fundraiser. So if anyone wants information on that, please send me an email.
And how can they reach you?
C. Bane, Bane, at albany.edu.
That's great. We're very excited, and hopefully you'll hear from a lot of our listeners about that.
Okay.
Good luck.
And thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, Amanda. We're going to take a short break. Catherine Zox and Alyssa Lotmore with Brendan on the board. You're listening to the Social Workers Radio Talk Show. We'll be back in a minute, and coming up next is Linda Mertz, who's going to be talking to us about the Navigator program here at the School of Social Welfare.